Let me say something that will probably upset some people. Most agents don't have a commission problem. They don't have a lead problem. They have a customer service problem. It should upset people because customer service should be the first thing that you think about as an agent. Today's guest is Liz Caballero. She is a woman that has built a solid book of business, one that she did not buy or inherit. It was all from customer service and hard work. She's direct, she's spicy, and she is going to bring the truth that should change your mindset about customer service. Let's dive in. Welcome back to another episode of Closed. I'm Justin Jacobs, and this is Liz Caballero, and she is a top producer in the world of health insurance, but more importantly, a great friend. We were talking about your husband, Pete, coming up here, and apparently he's grown out a beard. So I feel like him and I always do the same things at the same time.
You do.
It's kind of weird.
Yeah.
Thank you for being here. She just sat down and learned that we have a podcast.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. So the reason I was really excited to have you today is because I feel you are the queen of customer service. So we're going to lean hard into that. I think a lot of agents need to hear what you have to say today. So with that, most agents treat customer service like admin work. I was guilty of it. You know, I don't know if you started in that way, but you've built your business treating it like the way to drive your business as the engine. Why is that distinction so important?
Well, healthcare is complicated already as it is. I mean, people really don't understand how it works, how to use it. And I feel it's very important as an agent to explain to the consumer how it works, how to go about it. And I don't think a lot of agents want to take the time to do that. They want to just sell the consumer and just send them off on their merry way. Yeah,
and it's our job to know what's going on, and then not only learn it, but then have to teach it to your customers, right?
Correct.
Yeah. So all of that you feel is the driving force for customer service.
I do. I don't like seeing people confused, especially with the senior population. I have a motto. I feel that healthcare should be easy. You know, I like to explain it like a second grader. It shouldn't be hard. You know, they just make it too complicated, you know, with all these health plans, all these, you know, plan designs, you know, so much similarities. It's like, how do you pick?
Right. So at what point did you feel that customer service was not just support, but leverage for your growth?
I felt that was leverage when I was able to work from home in my pajamas.
Amen.
You know, because people kept calling me.
Yeah.
You know, that's a blessing, you know, but it could also be pretty damning and isolating, to be honest with you. You know, I mean, there's days that I wake up at 7 a.m. and I already have a whole bunch of missed calls. And it's not only missed calls, you know, it's like you got the big five, you know, you have emails, you have text messages, you have voicemails, you have WhatsApp. You know, because a lot of people find you on WhatsApp.
That is a point that I want to make.
You know, that's a big problem.
You forget about that. And you work with, you know, not primarily, but a big part of your book of business is the Hispanic
community.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And a lot of them, believe it or not, they don't know how to text message, but they know how to WhatsApp.
Isn't that crazy?
It's insane. It's absolutely insane. And then you have emails. And then, you know, I don't know how some agents function without a CRM. That was like, and I believe is what I told you when I first started with you. I'm like, well, how do you keep track of this and how do you keep track of that?
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, well, some people have a spreadsheet. I'm like, oh my God, when you said spreadsheet, that like made me go into a meltdown. I'm like, no, I need to track my bottom line.
Right.
You know, like who's on my book, who's off my book.
Right.
You know, who's paying me, who's not paying me. You know, all that stuff's very important.
So you're very unique in that you're a business owner. I look at you as an entrepreneur. You know, you and your husband have had businesses. He's a business owner too. Correct. So obviously you thinking in that way is unique because you've already been down those experiences. And by the way, CRM, in case you don't know, is a customer relations management software. So it's built to handle customer service and to extend that relationship for your clients. But, we see agents suffer from lost clients. What is customer service exposing about that with their book?
Well, agents need to understand that, especially if you're a broker, you're self-employed. Mm-hmm. You're going to get out of this business what you're going to put into it. Okay. How do you want to run your business?
Yeah.
You are your owner. Mm-hmm. Because I hear this from a lot of agents. Well, I'm not going to drive up there because, it's like too far. I'm like, well, then that's all you're going to grow.
Oh, that's true.
That's very important.
Yeah.
I like to keep track of everything.
I've noticed that about you.
Yeah.
So, we talked about you being a business owner. Walk me through your transition into insurance, because I don't think we've ever really talked about it. I mean, just to kind of preface this conversation, I got a random call from her. Hey, I heard about you through a friend. I'm looking for an agency. Let's get together. And I kind of don't really remember the rest. I mean, you kind of hit the ground running. You were kind of a rookie at that point for insurance. And no offense, but sometimes you get those calls and you're like, yeah, we'll see. Right. But you just took it and ran. So what did you bring with you that gave you that early edge?
So it's funny because I've always been in the call center business.
Mm-hmm.
I moved here from California when I was 19. And I think it's a rite of passage when you move to Florida that you have to do timeshares. The majority of the people that I know is like, you moved to Florida. What'd you do when you were 20? Like, so timeshare.
Yeah, I think we should send that out as a warning. If you come to Florida, you must do timeshare. Don't come here.
Yeah, so you do timeshare. You get bored of that. High pressure sale. Definitely. Paying attention to detail. Constantly. Getting hit with objections, overcoming all those objections, and
right.
Then I went ahead and I got out of that. Got into doing other call center stuff. And then we decided, to open up our own business, doing minivacs, another thing Florida's known for, right?
So you were like really, I mean, those are hard businesses to be in general. So did you take something from that you brought into the insurance side?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Order, streamlining processes, customer service. That's going to be a big one. Listening to your consumer, making sure your consumer is taken care of, making sure they're happy, following up with them. So I brought a lot of that. And one of my pet peeves is paper. I can't stand paper.
We share that.
I love automation. I like to hit a button. If I find something, I want to search for it. I want to find it right away. And I have this thing that I like things done right now.
I mean, you were in the corner there.
I don't like to wait for things.
Yeah.
I want them done right now.
Mike was here earlier, and you were in the corner shaking your head when we were talking about automations, and you're one of the few agents that understand how important that is. You didn't buy a book. You didn't inherit a book like some agents do. What do you do consistently that agents typically avoid?
I actually follow up because a lot of times they'll say they're going to call you or they're going to do something for you, and nobody ever follows up. And that can be very tedious, especially when somebody's calling you with a dental claim. Those are like the worst.
Oh, yeah.
I feel that like a good percentage of the complaints that I get are dental claims.
I still have nightmares myself.
Yeah. It's pretty bad. So obviously when I got into insurance, the first problem that I saw is that there wasn't a process in place. There wasn't a CRM. There wasn't a winning order. And I took it upon myself, to hire my own programmer. And that's another thing, as an agent, you have to think about how do you want your business to flow? It has to work for you. If it's not working for you, then you're not going to be successful.
Yeah, that's an interesting concept. And it's not like you have to be a programmer or a web designer to, create that flow. It's really about sitting down, drawing it out. And it starts from like, hey, you get a phone call. What's step 1, step 2, step 3, and even creating checklists and cheat sheets.
Well, that's the hardest part is
right.
I call it mapping.
Mapping, yep.
Yeah, the mapping is going to take most of your time. But once you map it, And it's going to be ever evolving because obviously no map is, perfect from the get-go.
Right.
Like I put something up, it worked for a while, but
Then you outgrew it.
I've totally outgrown it.
Yeah.
I already know that after this AEP, I need to sit down and I need to redesign almost every aspect. I found a lot of issues this AEP.
How often do you do that? Like you sit down and you take a look at your entire system, how you're operating, your workflows, all that. How often do you do that?
I like to do that at least twice a year. Obviously in the beginning of the year, because, everything has calmed down and, before AEP.
Right.
Especially because, that's when these carriers come out with, oh, by the way, we're going to change this. So you're kind of like, okay, well, where do I need to adapt? What do I need to change so I can make sure that I don't have a nervous breakdown during AEP? Because that's happening.
I'm usually one of the people you call during those breakdowns.
Oh, I have a tree.
Yeah.
I have a tree.
I don't know where I'm at on that tree, but I know I'm on that tree.
Yeah.
You're a top producer for us, but industry-wide, people know who you are. You have a great reputation. And I think a lot of that stems from some of the great service moments that you've had. I think you may have said one time that you've saved somebody's life, during that process of service. What does that level of care create for you as an agent and then for your clients long-term?
It creates trust. They trust you.
Yeah.
They trust that, you're reliable. They know that, if they need something, they can call you. You're going to be there for them. They're not just going to leave a message and, it's going to go blank. Nobody's going to call them back.
Right.
That's very important to me.
Yeah. And it goes into like belief systems too on how agents operate. So I want you to help me finish this sentence. Here it is.
Okay.
If an agent is losing clients, it's probably because...
It's because they're not showing up when their clients need them. People don't leave because of one policy alone. They leave because they're feeling ignored. They're feeling ignored and unsupported.
It's funny that you say that because I don't remember exactly where I saw this, but the number one reason people quit a product or service is simply because they don't feel appreciated.
Absolutely.
That's it. It's not because
they're feeling ignored.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're not calling them back. You're not paying attention to them. That's what it all boils down to.
Like number one reason,
Yeah,
so if you're thinking like, well, I don't think I'm going to send that birthday card or I'm not going to do the Christmas card campaign or whatever it is that you do for yourself or for your clients, think again.
I like videos.
Yeah. You've gotten into like Loom, right? You use Loom.
Oh my gosh.
That's what
I think it's better than cards.
Oh, it's awesome because it's the next best thing to being in the room with somebody.
Yeah, no, I love the videos because, you can send them a text message. It has your picture on it. They're like, oh, look, this is my agent. And they'll click on it. I love that.
And they watch it.
Yeah, they watch it.
Are you using WhatsApp for some of those folks too that are?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay. Yeah. Absolutely. I love WhatsApp. It's got everything there.
I've gotten such a huge response, from the videos, even for AEP, like, hey, AEP's coming about, this is what to look for, just general, industry changes. It was huge.
Yeah. Yeah. So kind of going back to customer service, I think some agents feel, or maybe they've even said, that's admin work. What are they really saying?
It's not my job.
Good point.
It's not my job.
They don't feel.
Why don't you just call the 800 number on the back of your card?
Boom. Yeah. So they don't feel that customer service is part of their job.
No.
Right.
And personally, I feel that a lot of insurance carriers, they've gotten good at, as far as, on the broker side, that we can log into their portals and they'll have like these little tickets that we can open, which is huge, instead of having to actually call agent support for something.
Right.
Because let's face it, how many times you call member services or broker support and you get an agent that just doesn't know anything and you have to hang up and call one that.
Oh, it's insanely frustrating.
Get one that knows what they're doing.
Right.
That's pretty frustrating, and you don't have that time during AEP.
No. And usually you might be calling while you're sitting across from Mrs. Jones. And then you're on the phone and you look like a ding dong because the person on the other line is a ding dong. Correct. And they don't know who to believe.
Correct. Correct.
So I get that.
Yeah. So I feel it would be great, like if the carriers would give us more power to do more things, for the consumer. Because there's some carriers also that they won't even speak to you unless you have the member on the line.
Do you think it's a mistake that carriers are kind of taking on that burden of customer service and saying, oh, don't worry, brokers, just call our 800 line?
It's a problem.
Yeah.
Because in the end, if you're the consumer and you're calling the broker and the broker can't help you, and then, well, why are you my broker? Mm-hmm. Because, how I tell all my clients, anybody can enroll you, but good luck with them following up with you. Mm. But I have that big belief, Justin, if I'm the agent, I should be able to call you and you should be able to solve the problem for me.
Or at least have a team that's going to help you with that. Yeah.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. I don't want them calling customer service. I mean, for certain things they have to do, but even as, for myself, I mean, if I want to fix something for you, something that's going to take a day or two, why don't I just log into a portal and say, hey, I mean, how I said, some carriers are better than others. Like, hey, you know what, send them an ID card, or, here's a ticket, they're having a problem with this. Can you take a look at it? Well, don't just tell me, hey, we resolved this. Mm-hmm. Well, can you please tell me like what you fixed? Can you address it to me? Because some carriers will say, oh, we resolved it, we'll send the consumer a letter. Well, that's great, but can you let me know what it was so I can relay that to my consumer?
Right. So do you get nervous if your clients call the carrier without you?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Because you don't know who's going to pick up that phone, the call, and how they're going to resolve it. Yeah, I'm very particular about that.
Oh, yeah. So, you've alluded to, you're a systems builder. You've got, you've had businesses, you've got your CRM. In fact, you encouraged us to look at the system that we now have.
Yes.
It only took 5 years, right? Or 6 years or whatever it is. You were like banging me over the head with. You rely on systems. Can you share what your service system looks like today? As like, if I was looking at Liz Caballero's system, can you describe it, like your day to day, or like what you use or what your customers can expect?
Well, first off, I have to, I listen carefully to my consumer, what they need and all that stuff, but, system wise, I have to use my CRM. Everything goes in a note. Mm-hmm. As I'm speaking with a consumer, I am writing notes. Mm-hmm. Because let's face it, you're not going to retain everything you're speaking to that person about. You're speaking to too many people.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's number one. And making sure that I educate them. Yeah. In every aspect of what they have, how it works. That's very important. Because remember, they're getting bombarded with a whole bunch of telemarketers, telling them all these things like, how many, I get a lot of clients calling me, telling me, do I have Part C? I'm like, well, Part C is what you already have. It's private insurance. Right. So, you definitely have to educate them as far as what they have. Oh, they're saying that I don't have that food card. Well, this is the who, what, when, and where, of stuff. And, you have to follow through on every detail, and you have to, definitely stay connected with them. Yeah, I'm a big proponent for education first. Absolutely. And we have an agent friend that used to be a teacher, and he educates. He's like, I don't sell, I educate. And the sale comes after that. Well, here's another thing. We don't sell anything. Mm-hmm. I don't sell anything. Right. You need what I offer. And you just need, and I don't offer anything that I'm selling. I'm just basically clarifying your options for you. Boom. That's, for me, it's always that sales technique that goes back is, hey, you never ask them if they want it, yes or no. It's which one. Right? Well, absolutely. Well, you're giving them an option. Yeah, exactly. They called you with a problem, and you're giving them a solution. Mm-hmm. That's what it's all about. Yeah. But, you have to have a system of follow-up. If you're not following up with that consumer, you're going to lose the client. Yeah. You're going to lose the referral. So talking about communications, right? We were talking about WhatsApp and emails and text messages. You said you love video. How do you communicate with your customers? What do they expect in a year? Should they expect an email, a text, a phone call? Do you actually go see them? Do you send them a video? Can you kind of describe your communication strategy with your clients? I love text messages. Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. It's easier. It's efficient. I still believe in reach out and touch someone. Remember the old AT&T commercial? Yeah. I live by that motto. There's nothing better than the power of a phone call. Okay, but texting is good, but it's still not gonna replace the power of a phone call. Yeah, it's still asynchronous, meaning like you can send a text and it doesn't matter when they respond to it. Yeah, but the text also lacks emotion.
Oh, it's very
excitement.
hard. Yeah.
So, it's different than saying, hi, Justin, than saying, hi, Justin, how you doing? You know what I mean?
Emojis
So,
help with that a little bit, but I'm terrible with emojis.
I'm terrible with emojis. Like sometimes I don't even know how
Yeah.
they mean,
Right,
these
right.
millennials, like it's like they can send you like a whole emoji story and it's probably going to go right over my head.
Exactly. So we're getting ready to go into OEP at this point that we're shooting right now, which is January through March. In my opinion, it's customer service heavy, in my opinion.
Absolutely.
First, would you agree with that? And then what does proactive service look like in your mind? How do you get ahead of it January through March? Because it's coming.
Well, you need to try to make sure that you, I guess, reach out to them to avoid the problem before the problem arises. Because in January, of course, you're going to have, new insurance. A lot of people go to the pharmacy and they think that it's going to be automatic. It's not going to be automatic. You need to show them that card. So you want to make sure you follow up. I like, again, mass text, mass, WhatsApp, hey, it's time, this time of year, blah, blah, blah. If you're not happy with the plan, whatever. But you want to go ahead and, make sure that they understand how the plan works, that it's working for them. If they need anything, is there something, that's not working? Because again, that's the time of year that if they're not happy with that plan, they have another opportunity to change it.
Yeah. Do you see them correlating customer service issues back to you as an agent?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I always like to make sure that they understand that if they're having an issue, if they have a friend that has an issue, to give them my number.
Yeah. And that's how you've been able to grow your business.
Oh, absolutely.
And I'm not going to ask you on air how many clients you have, because it's almost like asking a woman, how much do you weigh? I won't do that to you.
Oh my God.
But what in your mind breaks first when you hit, 300 clients, 500 clients, and, you get up to the point where you've got 1,000 clients? In your mind, what breaks?
Follow up.
Follow up.
It's hard to follow up.
Okay.
It's to have a system in place to follow up. It can be exhausting.
Right.
And it's overwhelming.
What tools do you use to help you with that follow up? As far like when you get to that level?
My CRM.
Okay.
I have a CRM in place, and I have different processes that are going to allow me to say, okay, I got to call this one first, this one second. And of course, delegation.
Yeah.
If I don't delegate certain processes, there is no way, because I do feel that I've kind of hit a plateau.
Yep.
When Mike said previously that he's got someone that has 3,500 clients, I kind of like to pick his brain. I like to get that person's number.
Oh yeah.
Because if that's a single person, what did you do to get 3,500? Because that's nice.
Oh, there's big opportunities. I was on that path. And it, in my opinion, it came a lot from the physician relationships.
Oh, absolutely.
Because you have a physician that says, hey, we're no longer accepting plan X. We take plan Y and Z. And
Absolutely.
oh, by the way, I need you to flip 300 clients. You're like,
okay.
Hallelujah.
Oh yeah. I've had those moments.
Yeah. So it can happen, especially in physician heavy markets. You see that agents play really nice with doctors, and you're great with that too. But I still feel like you get correct me if I'm wrong, I feel like you get most of your sales from just your clients referring business to you.
That, and not only doctors.
Okay.
There's more than one way to skin a cat.
Yeah. And I know I'm not asking you to share all your secrets today, but I mean, you're really good with doctors, medical professionals, and your clients.
I just see opportunity everywhere.
Yeah.
Listen, to be honest with you, there's like opportunity all over the place.
So how does, talking about those levels, how does an agent scale service without burning out? And I know you and I've had conversations candidly about burnout, and it's real. You're coming out of AEP. What number AEP for you is this, in case you're counting? I know we've been through, I want to say at least 5.
9.
Wow.
9
AEPs. And you kind of was like, this one was a doozy. So did you grow during AEP is my first question.
Absolutely.
You grew.
Absolutely.
And then how are you going to take that service with all of those new clients? What are you looking at as far as changes?
Well, change number one is I'm going to sit down and I'm going to reevaluate my processes. Because every AEP, if there's someone that says that they don't see something they can improve on their line, every AEP, there's something new that pops up that I know that I can change to make better.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm going to do. That's number one. That is just core. And honestly, when thinking about delegating some of the processes, it's challenging because finding help that's going to service at your level is hard. Like, I know we have Spark, but sometimes if I send a ticket, I want that ticket resolved right there and then. Like, I've come to the point that I'll like straight out tell my consumers, hey, I'm going to open up a ticket and then I want you to call them so it could get done right now. Because if I open up a ticket, it's going to take us several days. And I don't want several days.
At certain times of the year. Yeah.
I want it done right now.
Yeah.
Because they're calling me right now. So I want to get the process going now.
You're right.
So that's going to be a big one for me. You have to reevaluate, the burnout is real. A lot of people say, how did you get to where you got to? I have no life during AEP, like straight out. Like,
I know
when
that feeling.
When I fall off the radar, I fall off the radar. I work 7 days a week until AEP ends.
Wow.
That means that I'm not having dinners with my family. My husband's cooking every night. I totally appreciate.
Is he a good cook? I just have to ask.
He's an amazing cook.
Okay, good.
He's an amazing cook, but it becomes isolating.
Yeah. Yeah.
Flat out truth.
Yeah, I know. I know that feeling.
Someone asked me the other day, well, what do you like? I'm like, well, I really don't know because I don't know what's out there.
Right.
I've been in front of a computer or I've been in the car or I've been talking to people about their insurance.
So you said this is a service business.
Absolutely.
You've heard agents say that's not my job. And if you're bad at it, should you even be in it at all? Why do you think that upsets people?
Because it's the truth. It's going to bring out the truth. It's either you care about it or you don't. Okay. If you're not going to service them, just don't do it. It's like how I tell my members, anybody can write your policy. Okay. But are they going to actually service you? That's the main thing.
Do you think that service is a skill issue or a standards issue?
It's a standards issue. It's definitely a standards issue. Most, agents know how to answer the phone and explain a plan. The problem is that they don't hold themselves to the standards of doing it consistently.
Consistency. Yeah.
Consistency. That's the thing.
Yeah. At Health Plan Markets, we have core values. One of the core values is a servant's heart.
Absolutely.
And that's something you cannot fake.
No.
In fact, our purpose, passion, cause statement is serving those that serve others.
Absolutely.
We were built to serve the agent so you can turn around and serve your clients. That's how we operate. That's why we wake up every day. But that started with me being an agent and looking out and saying, nobody else is doing this to the level that I want to be at.
Absolutely.
And I think that attracts
because you have a high standard.
Exactly. However, I will say that I have seen agents step up their service, but you can't fake the passion.
You can't.
You can learn skills. Does it come off cold when that happens?
It does. You have to be genuine.
Yeah.
I love what I do.
Oh yeah, I can tell.
You truly have to be genuine.
Yeah.
And again, I just keep circling back. Anybody can enroll you in a plan, but are they going to service you?
That's where the magic happens.
That's the whole core of it.
Yeah. What lie keeps agents average year after year?
That enrolling them is enough. It's not enough.
Oh yeah.
They think once the client is signed up, the job is done. And the reality is that, service after the enrollment is what's going to keep the client.
What I used to say after I finished the enrollment is I'd say, now our journey begins.
Absolutely.
Because the application was the entrance fee, if you will, to working with you as an agent and them as a client. So I would say, now we start a relationship. We're just beginning. It wasn't the pursuit,
Right.
And I think I hate to go into this, but like dating is kind of like that. You know, you're like, oh, hey, look, there's a pretty girl over there. And then you work for days, weeks, months or whatever to get that girl's attention. And then she finally says yes. And then that's really where the work starts. You got to be in that relationship, right?
Correct.
So I think it looks the same for client relationships as well. It's like the pursuit is part of it. But when they say yes, they're saying, okay, we're going to start a relationship here. Do you feel that way?
Absolutely. Because you want to make sure that, you're the point of contact. You're the person that they trust, and again, that relationship is going to build that referral. That's where I'm at.
Amen.
I don't have to leave my house.
That's
I don't want to.
Yeah.
Sometimes people say, well, where are you today? I'm like, in Jacksonville. Oh my God, why are you so far? I'm like, because I ventured out of my house.
Yeah.
It's healthy to get out of your house.
It is.
You know what I mean? You don't want to be there all day. So to me, it doesn't matter. It's like a field trip.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, I take field trips.
Yeah. I mean, you can only work in your underwear for so long before people start to say, you might need a little help.
Yeah. I actually exist.
Yeah, exactly.
I actually exist.
So you were talking about referrals. You went from zero to hero through service, right? How does that translate to referrals and then into income? And then what we were just talking about is work freedom and being able to kind of do what you do.
Well, service definitely turned, clients into advocates. They referred their friends, their family. They grew my book of business without buying leads.
Yeah.
The growth definitely translated into steady income and the freedom to run my business on my own terms.
Yeah.
Because again, you're running your own business. This is what agents need to understand. You
Right.
are your own business.
Yeah.
Sometimes they'll come in and like, well, how am I going to get leads? Well, you can buy them too.
Sure.
But they don't want to make the investment. You're going to get out of this business what you invest in it.
Right.
Okay. It's like, it's your life.
Preach it, girl.
You're going to get out of your life whatever you want. You're the one driving, right?
That's so true. And I learned early, I'm a learner, I love school.
Well, you have to constantly be learning.
Exactly. And so I think people get into this business, they get their license, they do a few sales, and then they're like, well, what do I do now? And there's so much to learn. I mean, just in customer service alone, if you study customer service, you can spend an entire year reading books about customer service.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
And that's just customer service. That's not operations or automation or leadership or any of that. That's just one topic in business alone, which, by the way, I think everybody should read books all the time.
Oh, yeah. I'm constantly reading.
Oh, yeah.
I read a lot of articles as well.
The one that kind of reminds me of you, it's Will Guidara's, trying to remember the title of it, Unreasonable Hospitality. If you haven't read that book, you got to read it.
No, I haven't.
This guy was insane with service. To the point he would stalk his customers. He had the #1 restaurant in the world. That's I know this is kind of crazy, but he would find them on Facebook and have his team research them. So when they walked in, they had a bespoke experience to the point that he's got stories where they went around to all the bodegas and grabbed beer for the guy that was going to have dinner there because he wasn't a fancy wine drinker or whatever. So they brought him a cart of beer, like a champagne, and the guy lost his mind. And years later, that's all the guy talks about.
It's funny you say that because I have a client. He's like super, super cool, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he used to be the maitre d' for Studio 51.
Whoa.
Yeah, whoa. Like he's telling me
He's probably
story.
seen some stuff.
Yeah. And I'm like, gosh, so how was it, right? And he's telling me all about it. I lived in this penthouse. I was making all this money. I was throwing parties, for Barbara Streisand, Sinatra and all this stuff. And I mean, this guy's the real deal.
Wow.
And I said, what made you so successful? He's like, I paid attention to every detail. I remembered everybody's name and I paid attention to everything that they liked.
Awesome.
And every time they came in, I remembered their name. I remembered their every second last detail.
And that's a skill because now we have cheat sheets, we have CRMs, we have our phones. You can leave little notes in about that person, but like you're talking about a person, this is way before any of that.
Yeah, but then I think that also boils down to the person's personality and if you care.
The passion.
Because if you care,
Yeah.
you're going to do it.
Right.
The standard.
There it is.
It's the standard.
Yeah.
And his story was really neat.
That's awesome. So, I mean, you kind of fell into this, but if you were meeting an agent and you were like, hey, I don't know if you're right for this business, would you like kind of feel them out about the service side of it or the sales side of it?
I would feel them out more on the service side because, again, we're not selling anything.
Right.
We're just going over their options. But it's definitely going to be more on the service side because if they're not going to service the consumer, they're not going to succeed. How many agents do you know are also real estate agents in this business?
Yeah. It's kind of
okay.
weird.
So why aren't they real estate agents 100%? Okay. They probably don't want to invest in doing mailers, to get, agreements going.
Right. They're like half in and half out.
Yeah. If you're not going to do it 100%, just don't do it.
Right.
Like a lot of people tell me, I get people, people call you all the time. Come and do some life insurance. I'm like, I don't want to do some life insurance. I'm already busy. I'm busy enough. I'm not going to go do life insurance. I could, but I don't want to.
Yeah. It's insane. And you bring a great point. You have so many agents that are half in, half out, and it shows, right? And then they look at someone like you and they're like, wow, she's so successful. She drives a great car. She has a nice house. She dresses great, da. But they don't see the, 85% or the 90% that hides under the water, the iceberg, if you will.
Oh, absolutely.
You know what I mean? Yeah, so, and you kind of alluded to this, but what is great service ultimately by an agent that nothing else can?
Trust and a lifetime of renewals.
Lifetime of renewals.
It's the one thing you can buy, with marketing or money.
Right.
It's the trust. They're going to trust you with all of their decisions. And that's important. It's very uplifting to me.
Yeah. I mean, you get a sense of pride.
I do.
Yeah, absolutely. And it shows. Now we're to our last question, but before we do that, you're my second victim on this, by the way.
Okay.
I am really big on health products, and I've been on this like protein kick thing, and I found this Fit Crunch that I'm going to ask you to try, and you're going to try it. And the whole thing is you're going to give it a CMS rating.
Oh boy.
Out of 5 stars, what would you give this thing? So go ahead and open that up. You're going to try it. I love it. It to me, it kind of tastes like a Girl Scout cookie.
Okay.
If you remember the Thin Mints.
Oh my gosh. I think I have a box of them at the house.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So what's great about this thing is you can have those or taste that, and it tastes like that, except it actually has protein in it, and it's good for you. So I had one for breakfast.
Oh, good.
Yeah?
Oh, 5.
Yeah. Oh, 5.
Oh, yeah.
Wow, we got our first 5 here.
Well, I love chocolate. It's crunchy. It's not too moist and it's not too dry, so it's just right.
Right. It kind of, to me,
minty.
It's minty, but like not overly, right? And it
not too sweet either.
Yeah, it tastes kind of like a candy bar would.
No, this one's a 5. I like this. Oh, thank you.
Yeah, you got it.
Yeah.
16 grams of protein, by the way.
Oh, wow.
So like I'm sneaking those in as I'm like going through my day. By the way, this is not sponsored, but hit me up, Robert Irvin.
Is that the
Totally
maker?
do that. Yeah.
All
Yeah.
right.
You can find them at Costco, but I think the only flavor they have at Costco is the caramel, which isn't bad either. But they got all sorts of stuff. Go to like Walmart, Target, whatever. They got them there. So while you're chewing on that, last question.
Okay.
If an agent did one thing this week to improve retention, what should it be?
They should pick up the phone and call every single person that they enrolled the last quarter.
Boom. And that goes back to what you were saying earlier is a follow-up.
Just the follow-up.
Yeah.
It's all about the follow-up.
Right.
You want to make sure that you're unforgettable.
I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If they forget you, they're going to pick up the phone with somebody else.
And you probably heard me say this. It's not your client's job to remember you.
Nope.
It's your job to remind them of what you do.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And who you are in your role as a broker. Absolutely.
And there's so many things that go along with it. I mean, it cuts down on buyer's remorse when they hear from you after the sale. It gives you another opportunity to ask for referrals. They feel that trust, that bond build, when you're calling them back.
That, and they also have to understand what your role is as the broker. Because a lot of, this has happened to me before too. Like I'll call one of my clients, they'll be on a Humana plan, and next thing you know, they're not on my book of business because they spoke with a Humana agent.
Yeah.
And they switched them from plan XYZ to plan XYZ. And in their mind, they're thinking because it's Humana, they're switching them over, and they're not understanding that once that, even if it's Humana, switching them plans,
They lost
no
you as
their
an
agent.
Yeah.
And then they're like, oh my God, how do we get you back? Well, I'm not going to switch you back to a different plan just because you want me to be the agent. But you need to explain to them your role as a broker and how you get paid. I'm not ashamed of it.
Yeah, I think
they need to know how you get paid because they need to understand that if they like you and they trust you and they let the insurance company enroll you or anybody else, you're not there anymore for them.
Yeah, that's a great point. And that transparency that you're telling people to do, say, hey, explain to them how compensation works for you. That goes back to what you're saying is building the trust.
Absolutely.
Because when they say, oh, I understand how Liz makes money, it's a totally different relationship at that point.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Because they understand that if something happens, my service is a service to my client. If you're not my client.
Exactly.
You have to call that 800 number on the back of your card.
Yep. And off you go.
Off you go.
Awesome. Liz, you did fantastic. I know you were a little nervous, but you did great.
I'm very nervous.
Thank you very much for being here today.
Thank you for having me.
Of course, you did fantastic. And with that, we are done.
Yay.
As you heard from this episode, customer service is a non-negotiable. This should be the first thing that you think about when you wake up in the morning and you go to work. Agents like Liz Caballero change people's lives and they send her business. If you got anything out of this episode, please subscribe to the channel and leave a comment and let us know how customer service can change your life. With that, I'm Justin Jacobs. This is Closed, and you have a nice day.